It's time to take a ride on the Steelers Afternoon Drive with our co-hosts, Alan Saunders and Zachary Smith.
Get in the van. We're going for our Steelers Afternoon Drive. I'm Zachary Smith. That is Alan Saunders on his Afternoon Drive. Alan, how we doing?
Doing good, man.
I have a question for you to lead off here that relates to the fan base. I feel like your mentions are typically just flooded with them. And I know like Tomlin speaking today, and when you have to put out all the quotes from him, that the response are largely going to be to that. I'm just curious if you feel like the page has been turned yet from this game or no. Are we still very much on this Packers game, or do you think the issues are just larger picture and that game really isn't the reason why?
Oh, I mean, I think there are big picture problems here. I think that's clear. When you have, I mean, they aren't the same problems, but when you have similar problems 2 weeks in a row, and the thing that you said was going to be the fix for it did not turn out to be the fix for it.
Yeah.
I, for one, clearly you were wrong. Two, even if you say now something else is going to be the fix for it, why should anyone believe it? You were wrong about what the fix was last time. Like, there's no, like, what?
Yeah.
Why would you move on? I don't. You move on when there's a resolution. It's like you get up something. Like a lot of times, fans get upset about something, and then here's what. Oh, okay, now I get it. There's no resolution to offer here. Like, there's like, they clearly have a problem with their pass defense that I can't even provide. Like, it is beyond my ability to analyze what the root cause of it might be, because it is so multifaceted and deep-seated that the problems are great and there are many. And so that's, to me, when you and here's one of the things that I know is not a problem. They don't lack talent. All right. I mean, in general, like, maybe Slay's not good enough anymore. Maybe Chuck Clark shouldn't be out there doing some of the things he was doing. But, like, this is not a group that doesn't have players with ability. And the fact that they're still unable to come up with an answer, and there's so many of these problems, like, there's just not going to be I'll say that, like, the only way you're going to have a resolution here that people are going to move on from is to offer people a pound of flesh, and Mike Tomlin did not do that.
Sure.
And I'll be honest, I don't have any confidence that would help. I mean, what I suggested this morning is go find somebody with some experience in a different scheme to come in and look at this and say, here's what's going wrong. That's an idea. Do I think they're going to do it? Absolutely not. Doesn't seem like it's in Mike Tomlin's personality. Doesn't seem like it's in the Rooney's budget. Something they've never done before. I can't imagine them doing it. But I think it's a good idea. I think that would be helpful. I cannot sit here and say, oh, fire Teryl Austin. That'll fix everything. Like, I highly doubt that it would.
Sure. Yeah, the reason that I asked that is because, like, I guess it's because it's not a one-game thing. I just see so few people that even were discussing, like, that game specifically and just immediately went to, like, bigger picture problems, which I 100% understand. I was just curious as to what, like, the fan reaction that you personally have seen has been like.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the whole, like, the focus on the two big plays from the Packers on 3rd and long, certainly those are big plays in the game. And if the Steelers, I mean, if they get 2 interceptions on those 2 wounded duck awful throws from Jordan Love, they probably win the game. But at that point, you're just masking what have been repetitive underlying issues anyway. Like, and I think the fans have largely seen enough of that even that kind of win, there will be some people that would just say, okay, whatever, they won. There would still be a lot of people that would say, well, yeah, you won, but, like, when is this going to get fixed? And and then there's, like, just lots of people that are just angry because they lose, and
Yeah. I mean, I 100%. I think that what's so frustrating is when you're losing like this and obviously calling for heads, and I'm not saying people are wrong for doing so. People are angry and they're not even sure who exactly to be angry at or what to be angry about or what the reason is that we are angry. We just know that we're angry and we want something to change and nothing's
Lots of
going to
people
change.
do not know what to be angry about. And that's the funny thing, too, is that, like, I've written, like, about 5 consecutive columns that are extremely critical, thousands of words long, of Mike Tomlin. And yet I find myself mostly online defending Mike Tomlin because a lot of the criticisms I see are just not based in fact whatsoever. And it's like, yes, I'm criticizing him also, but that's wrong. That's not even close. And so people's like Teryl Austin should have never been an NFL defensive coordinator. Why, well, they've had a top 10 defense each of the last 3 years. So, that doesn't necessarily jive with that line of thinking. Julian Edelman said, what Julian Edelman is talking about, what the Steelers used to run, which is country cover 3, they basically have not run the last 2 weeks. That's not you're wrong. You may be right in that Mike Tomlin's not doing a very good job right now, but the way you're getting there is wrong. So that part is very frustrating.
All right, so we'll definitely get there and talk more about what Tomlin had to say today. But within that, obviously, given some updates on injuries, Daniel Ekuwale, we found out last night, had torn his ACL. He was going to miss the rest of the season. Tomlin mentioned that there. I think the one that's interesting that sounds like it's more up in the air is the Deshaun Elliott one. Jeremy Fowler put out there, while his ACL might be intact, they feared that his season could still be over. But then, Tomlin says he's out this week with a hyperextended knee. And it's more of a week-to-week thing, but didn't want to even say whether he was going to go on IR or what. So I don't know what to make of that one, Alan.
Well, the Steelers signed a safety, so I think that should tell you what to make. And they had 2 more in for tryouts. So I think that should tell you something about what to make for that one. I would not expect Deshaun Elliott back anytime soon. Is it season-ending? I don't think he has been ruled out for the season at this point. I do think there is a chance it ends up being a season-ending injury.
Okay. So, that's why I said still up in the air. See, what that means for him. But you mentioned a couple of tryouts there, Von Bell and Eddie Jackson, names that should be very familiar to Steelers fans. Eddie Jackson did not play his best ball with the Baltimore Ravens. That happened with the Chicago Bears, but spent time with the Baltimore Ravens. And Von Bell of the Cincinnati Bengals certainly had his moments in the past with the receiving corps, namely Juju Smith-Schuster, dancing on the logo.
Yeah, that's sort of like Cincinnati Bengals legend James Harrison. Where it's this is just very wrong and should not ever happen. Bell's I don't think has been an impactful player in the NFL last couple of years. Somebody tweeted me after that, is like, well, Cincinnati decided he wasn't good enough. Why would we want him? I was like, buddy, everyone that is available right now, not only has Cincinnati decided wasn't good enough, also the other 30 NFL teams has decided wasn't good enough. That's who's out there. That's by definition. So that's what you're going to get. Yeah, I would be fairly surprised if either of them came in and were impactful players at this point, but depth is depth, and at least they're pros that know what to do. Knowing what to do has been a problem in the secondary, so can't knock that.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Would they come in and know what to do? How would they fit within what's going on right now on the defensive side of the ball? The one that you mentioned that was brought in, Derek Forrest, to the practice squad. A lot of special teams ability for Washington.
There, I would say. Actual, kind of good player. A pretty, a hard hitter for a free safety. Some decent ball skills. Kind of reminds me of like Devontae KZ a little bit, fairly similar, I think.
Okay. Well, he's been a really good special teamer for Washington. So I was going to say, is he kind of not as good of a special teamer as Killebrew, but maybe offers more on the defensive side of things than Killebrew did, obviously.
A player that can play on special teams and some of the roles that Killebrew was filling, and also you got to figure too, if let's say Jabril Peppers is going to start, I think that seems like a fairly easy button to push. Do you also want Jabril Peppers at this stage of his career starting and playing most of your snaps on defense and being a four-phase special teamer? Probably not. So you're talking about replacing Killebrew and then also pulling a lot of Pepper's special teams duties away. Yeah, you're going to need somebody to fill that in. So, sure, sounds good to me. I think that was a pretty good signing. But he's on the practice squad, so we'll have to see if he gets elevated. But, I mean, seems like a sensible move to me.
Yeah, I guess the question that I have mainly is he going to be elevated this week? I think we'll certainly see him within, a week or two elevated for sure.
Well, Peppers didn't play his first week either, did he? He came in, spent one week, and then he
I think so. Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah. But anyways, moving on to other stuff that Tomlin had to say. Curious as to, I know that there was a lot to come out of this that weren't injury related. And actually, wait, one more injury note. Isaac Seumalo, we just spent a good portion yesterday talking about Spencer Anderson and him stepping into that role, but it doesn't even sound necessarily like it's a foregone conclusion that Seumalo will miss anytime. I don't know what your thought is on that, or if Tomlin's just dressing up in a nice way and you expect Seumalo to miss time, or what.
Not missing time. He came back into the game, so it can't be that bad. I would probably err on the side of Spencer's played pretty fine, so there's no real reason to force it.
Okay.
But, I don't think he's so injured that it's not plausible that he could play this week. The other injury, Scotty Miller, broken finger, and is going to try to play through it. I'm curious about how that might go.
For what reason? For what he's not talking down on Scotty Miller whatsoever here, but for what he's bringing to the team right now, the role that he's playing, for what purpose? Would you want to have him out there with? I don't know if he's going to have some type of casting on it or what, but okay.
The only thing I can think of is maybe it's his pinky.
Okay.
Which, and then you just tape it to the one next to it, and it wouldn't be that bad, I guess. It's still not good.
Yeah,
it's like Scotty Miller with less than his usual hands does not sound like a wide receiver I want playing very much.
No, I would rather them sign MVS this week as opposed to waiting a week.
Or just play Keyshawn Williams. That's fine.
Which we'll see how that falls. I guess we could bring that up on here as well before we move on to other stuff from Tomlin. Is the MVS stuff? It's out. They're going to wait until next week to sign him, according to Jordan Schultz. Now, what would be the reason, do you think, for them to do that?
Usually it's because they have some kind of plan for something, someone that they want to bring in, and they don't want to use the spot right this second. I think the idea with MVS is that he's coming to the practice squad. I don't think he's going to the roster. So, I don't think it's a thing where they would need him right away. And so you just wait and see where you feel like you need the roster spot.
Okay. So I had my tinfoil hat on because I know that the trade deadline is coming up, and I was like, I wonder if this is more so a thing of, let's wait and see if we make a different move. But if we don't, then we're going to sign MVS. But if we do make a move, maybe that is a move that doesn't even end up happening with MVS.
I wouldn't think that it would be one or the other. Maybe from his perspective, if the Steelers did trade for someone who's I'm trying to think. There isn't really a receiver out there that feels very I can't think of another 6'4" deep ball guy who the Steelers could plausibly acquire. Let's say the Steelers get A.J. Brown. I could see MVS being you know what? Never mind. I'm good. I'll find somewhere else. Now that's not going to happen. I can't really think of another player that fits that mold, but maybe there's one out there where he would just be never mind. But this isn't uncommon. A lot of times these deals are worked for practice squad guys are worked out that way.
That's fair. I think it's just because the timing.
It's odd. Well, practice squad deals aren't usually reported barely at all. Well, certainly not in advance. But when you're talking about a player who's a skill position player, so there's fantasy, maybe not value, but knowledge anyway. And then plus you're talking about a 2-time Super Bowl champion with history with Aaron Rodgers. Then it becomes newsworthy enough for someone to report it, even though it's probably not happening anytime soon. And that's how you get here.
Okay. All right, cool. Other things from Tomlin today that caught your caught your ear you feel like are necessary to bring up on here?
Oh, I asked him about the trade deadline, so we'll go straight there next, and said, does the play of the secondary of the last 2 weeks, which I'm insinuating was awful. I'm not sure if he necessarily agreed with that insinuation, but that's my editorialization. And also the injury to Elliott makes him more likely to acquire a safety or a defensive back in a trade deadline. And he said, not specific to that position, but we are always looking to get better. We are open for business, and we are always going to be buyers. So not that I didn't think that, but it is certainly something to have the head coach on the record and say, yeah, we are going to try to add pieces to this team at the deadline. And then some stuff about Teryl Austin that we probably should get to, which will probably take a while.
All right. Well,
was there anything else small you want to check off before we bite into that meal?
Well, I typically, I guess, save the YouTube stuff for last.
I just meant from Tomlin. I can't remember if there was anything else small that we wanted to address. I've lost track of my notes in my head.
Injuries, the tryouts, he wouldn't comment.
I blame Brandon Eccles for there only being 10 men on the field on the 2-point conversion. Said it was because Eccles was in there for Slay, which he also sort of admitted that was for performance reasons and not anything else. So they were sort of experimenting with Darius Slay's playing time, which certainly was warranted, if not more than that being warranted. So, yeah, that's probably something to touch on. I don't know if you have any questions about that.
Not really. No, I mean, I'm in agreement with that being the case. Again, I don't know if it's too brash of a decision or what. This is why I'm not the one that can make these calls, because I'm probably too emotional in the moment. But I was talking to somebody on Twitter today about this, and the effort that I saw from Darius Slay, I know he wasn't the only one, but just so egregious to me. At least for 1 week, I wouldn't even play him for a single snap, let alone reducing. He's not seeing the field against Indy if I'm the one making the shot, if I'm the one calling the shots there. I don't know how you deploy the guys differently. I don't know if that's Brandon Eccles starting on the inside or on the outside, and Jalen Ramsey pretty much. But then if you're taking away the safety stuff from Ramsey potentially in the process of doing so because of how many wide receivers the Colts play. I mean, they play downs on the inside pretty much every snap, right? And then you got Pittman, obviously. You got Alec Pierce on the outside as well. Obviously, Tyler Warren, the way that they use him at tight end. So I don't know how he could deploy the defense in doing it, but that effort to me unacceptable, and I'd sit him down entirely for a week.
I don't think that's completely unreasonable. I don't think it's what's going to happen, but I don't think it's unreasonable.
I would agree. Yeah. But that's my only thought on that. So we can get into the Teryl Austin aspect of that where, I guess you could speak to exactly what the quote was from Tomlin, but I would say more than anything kind of came to Teryl Austin's defense.
Yeah. So I'll start with this. He said he's not going to take the play calling duties away from Austin, which I feel like is important to mention. Also, apparently a lot of people were not aware that Austin has been calling defensive plays.
That goes into what I mean, though, in terms of people not knowing where to place blame. That's all part of it.
Yes. Keith Butler said when he wasn't technically fired, but for all intents and purposes fired, that Tomlin called the defensive plays. But that has not been the case since Teryl Austin took over. TA calls the plays. You can tell this on the sideline because TA has the play sheet and the iPad, and Tomlin does not. And it's real hard to call plays. I mean, maybe he has just the whole playbook memorized, in which case you would think if he had that level of intellect that it would be going better. Does he say, I want to blitz here? Sure. I think that's very – and obviously Tomlin has an enormous imprint on the defense as a whole, more than any other head coach in the league, I would wager. But as far as specifically which play is getting called in which instance, that's TA making the play call. Again, it's a collaborative process, and Tomlin has a lot to do with it. But no, he is not the one calling the plays. I wasn't aware that many people were not aware of that. And no, he said he's not going to take that away from Teryl Austin. Although, I mean, look, I don't of the ideas that are out there that the Steelers could do. To me, that is one of the ones that actually makes some sense. I think that would be, if you look at it and say, okay, maybe you just focus on the game plan and I'll call the plays. I don't know. Again, it's not a crazy thing to try. But he said he's not going to, at least not for this week. Didn't rule out in the future, just said for now. And then the second thing that he said when asked to sort of generally speak about Teryl Austin's tenure, he said it has generally been very good, but obviously not good enough right now, which is a quote that I am sure a lot of people are going to cut off the second part and take very badly out of context.
Well, I've already seen it happen, so yeah, that's a safe assumption.
Yeah, and also is very true. Steelers have had a top 10 defense each of the last 3 years under Teryl Austin, and it is not good right now. So that is all factual. And so, yeah, I mean, here's the thing about that. I think the play calling thing, good conversation can be had there. Mike Tomlin's not going to throw Teryl Austin under the bus. It serves him absolutely no purpose. Even if he thinks Teryl Austin is like the problem with his defense, he's like, I can't wait to get rid of this guy. I hate him. Can't stand the look of him. Want to fire him tomorrow. And even if that was the case, even if Tomlin had in his head that he was firing him tomorrow, you would have got the same answer. Like it serves no purpose to anyone for him to say anything negative there. And so he never said anything negative about Matt Canada. Like, I mean, so it's just not going to happen. And I mean, furthermore, what he said is perfectly accurate. It's been largely good, but right now it's not. I think that's a very good way to sum it up.
This isn't related to this specific topic, but just in general, because I put out a tweet and I don't want you as somebody that's obviously in that room to take offense to this, and understand you're trying to do your job, and would love to get your perspective on this as a fan that generally just doesn't see much value in it. Because from press conferences, the only thing that as a fan, like me personally in my shoes, I can't speak for any other fan, and obviously you have a different perspective. The only thing that I really get out of it is the injury updates, because other than that, I just feel like it's like a lot of word salad, and I don't know how much truth there is in any answer that comes out of the guy's mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly a lot of non-truths. I think it's interesting, at a meta level. Again, he opened his press conference with concern about the offense settling for field goals. That was the very first thing he said. Now, whether I believe that he believes that or not, and as what I said, it gets very meta here. Why is that the message that he wants to send? The thing you say first is the thing that gets why is that and so I do think it's an interesting insight into what he thinks should be the messaging priority. And the other thing is, I think a lot of times in Mike Tomlin's press conferences, he knows he is speaking to the team. He is very, very aware that the team knows what he is saying in that room, and that he wants his message to them and his message to us to largely be consistent. We are all going to go leave that room, and then tomorrow spend the first of 3 days talking to players in the locker room about the things that were said. It's really hard to keep your message straight if you're telling the players one thing and telling us another thing. And certainly there are times when that happens. There are times where he'll say to the players, hey, whatever, Eccles is going to start this week, but don't tell anybody. That's an easy thing to kind of keep up. Maybe not easy, but a relatively easy thing to keep under wraps. But when you're talking about what is the overall message this week? What is the thing that the coach is trying to instill in his team over the course of 3 practices and several meetings, that's not going to be something you're going to be able to dance around. And so he very much tries to stay consistent in his messaging to the team and his messaging to us. So whether he believes it or not, I often think it's an insight into what he's saying to the team. Whether it's true and whether he believes it's sort of irrelevant. Generally speaking, if we're getting that message, they're probably getting that message too.
Yeah, and okay, the one I said the thing that I take away really is only the injury stuff. I will say too, it is interesting when it's like a multi-press conference trend, and we're seeing that right now, where we've talked about kind of blame being absolved, at least publicly, from the secondary and why that would be the reason. So I know that like post-game, he obviously gave in some insight as to where he's going now, because they were able to shut down a Packers run game largely. Like that was not the reason that the secondary got gashed in this one. I think that you said he was largely blaming just a few chunk plays for really the reason that it shifted that way. I'm curious as to, okay, you know, Indy, what if Indy comes out and does the same thing? Where are we going to go next? Like, I don't think that he's either dancing around what the actual issue is and knows what it is, or just completely oblivious to them being the root. And I don't know which one do you think is worse, I guess. Like,
I guess the worst one is, I think we've talked about this, is that he knows what the issue is and doesn't think he can fix it. So then he doesn't want to bring it up. Like that's the worst outcome. The next worst outcome is he doesn't know what the issue is. And then the best outcome is that he knows what the issue is and he just doesn't want them to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Which,
Boy.
I'll say there was something else that came up there that I wanted to jump in with, and now I can't remember. Shoot.
I don't know. Specifically, Tomlin, TA, defense stuff. I don't know if there's
specifically about what you were talking about there about the Yeah, I've lost it. We'll come back to it if I remember.
Okay. Okay. So in regards to Tomlin,
talking about the blame. This is right. So like,
okay.
You know, the other part of this is he didn't say like the whole reason we lost this game was those 2 plays. The other part of it is he said he didn't think that he basically said, and Cam Hayward said this post game as well, that the defense let the big plays get in their head. And that then they did not play well because of basically feelings, summarily anyway, that they gave up some big plays and then they got flustered and got out of their responsibilities and their assignments, which is possible. I will acknowledge that. But man, like, what a damning
going back
statement
to
if it's true, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like going back to like what is the worst truth? Which one being the truth would be the worst outcome? That's horrendous. Like you're talking about one rookie that really plays in Derek Harmon, right? I mean, Y.A. Black obviously has played a bit more than we expected as a 5th-round rookie, but that's even taken a step back. We'll see if Ekuwale's absence changes that or whatever. But like, how is that the case for these guys? Like we just talked about, like on an effort level from Slay, but like if these guys are letting these vets and these guys that have been around the block, whether it be for the Steelers or just around the league, are letting things like that get in their head and impact the way that they play down the stretch.
If the whole explanation is, and I'm pedantically summarizing this, we gave up 2 big plays and then we got sad about it. Like I can't that's not better than we just stink. I'm sorry. Like if that can't be the chosen message for messaging's sake, right? Like no one is out there deciding that, okay, guys, the narrative that we're going to push after this game is that we felt bad about a couple of big plays and then we let that affect us the whole rest of the game. Like no one's picking that. So that almost has to be true, right? Because it's like embarrassing to admit.
Incredibly embarrassing. You talk about like flipping the page after a bad game and being able to rinse it off and get ready for that after one play. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like a big part of the Steelers culture and why it's been so propped up is the ability to have people in the building that do that. And if you don't have that now,
one of the calling cards of Mike Tomlin's tenure as the Steelers head coach. is the ability to do just that. That you can never write them out. You'll never write them off. Can't write them off from a game. Can't write them off from a season.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, there's the game. You know, if you're Jonathan Taylor and you're able to rip off a 50+ yard run, just know that's game.
Game over.
Coming back from it. Yeah. Doesn't even matter if it gets in the end zone. Just 150-yard run could be that demoralizing. Man, I don't know. I don't know what to make. I don't know what to make of that, to be honest with you. That
if they're that down about 2 big plays from the Packers, just wait until the Colts game. Because
they're wagging right now. They are wagging right now. Definitely at least one YouTube comment that I wanted to bring up here because it came to us from Guatemala. Juan Pablo here says, "Hey, Alan, great stuff as always. Crazy idea potentially. Do you think that it might be a good idea to really just push the pieces in on the offense? I know that some people have shifted focus to maybe they should add in the secondary, but what if they just realize that that's not an area they can address and just go all in on the offense? Do you think it could be a good idea?"
I mean, I don't know what pieces there are to push in. It's October 28th. There are few and far between things left to be pushed.
We going back to the AJ Brown?
Yeah, sure. Go get him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
realist. I mean, what is, I guess, you know, being that we're like a week away. When is it? The 4th? The trade deadline? Okay. Yeah. So, what is the best realistic option for what they could acquire? Jacoby Myers?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
that's probably the most I could see them doing. I guess I would say Jacoby Myers, maybe and a random piece. You could do 2 things. But the second guy's not going to be a starter. He's just going to be a guy.
Kyle Duggar. Adam Schefter basically made it seem like he's 100% getting traded on that clip that you sent to the group chat.
Yeah, the Patriots basically put a free to a good home sign on Kyle Duggar. It's essentially what
I had people, I put out something yesterday about make the call, Omar, or something with a gif of Kyle Duggar, and people were like, why would you trade an asset for him? I'm like with the way that he's going to be basically, like you're saying, free to a good home. We're talking probably a conditional pick swap on day 3.
2028 7th.
Yeah.
Take it.
So I'm not hey, let's trade a 3 for Kyle Duggar or anything like that. I just,
the other thing is when you're talking about a team that's a contender, I'm sure the Patriots have some position. Maybe the Patriots would be we'd love to have the rest of the way or whatever. That's probably an overpayment, honestly. But whatever like that. I'm sure there's somebody the Steelers aren't using that the Patriots would. You could just Beanie Bishop. I don't know. You can even trade people on the practice squad. I don't think so. But whatever.
What if you elevated him to then trade him?
Yeah, that would be funny. You could do that, but I'm sure there's.
Actually, Beanie Bishop came up today. Somebody asked, and I know that we're at 33 minutes, but should he be a potential part of the solution, or at least given a shot to be a part of the solution, especially if you are, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen, but if they were to take my advice and say Slay's not part of this game plan this week.
I don't know that I would pick Beanie Bishop over Corey Trice, who I feel like is in a very similar position. Yeah. But I don't think Beanie Bishop would be a bad idea.
Well, so you're making that decision about Eccles first and foremost, I guess, right? Do you want him to be the outside guy or the inside guy? And then if it's outside, then Bishop could make more sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the idea is they want to be able to play man coverage, Corey Trice is a much better option.
Yes.
And then playing Eccles in the slot. Mm-hmm. And they do want to be able to play man coverage. The coverage that the Steelers are not known for playing, and I know the Steelers never do anything. So the same defense, Smitty, same defense is forever, But they want to play man coverage, and they tried to build their personnel to do that, even though they never play man. But they never change, They never change.
See, that's the problem. Is I think a lot of people associate the results with thinking that they're not doing anything differently. and couldn't be further.
You can't. I mean, here's the thing: unless you have pulled up the all 22, do not have an opinion about the coverage scheme because it's literally not on the TV screen. You can't see it. It's not there. You don't know. I mean, you can probably tell the difference between man and zone, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know until I've watched the all 22, and I'm watching it live a lot of times. It's just really hard from my angle to see the whole picture. Like,
sure.
I'm watching 15 other things. Like, I guess if I just sat there and watched the secondary, I could probably do it. But, like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe just have Brennan be like, hey, Brennan, you just watch the secondary.
There have been games where, depending on what's going on, the second guy with me has had, like, a similar job. Like, I just want you to watch this guy all game.
Yeah.
When I think it was Broderick Jones' first start. Watch. All I want you to do is write. You're going to write about Broderick Jones, and I really just want you to watch him all game. I don't want you to watch anything else because it's really hard. I mean, you can't write about stats. You can't write.
Yeah.
You're not going to write. If you don't pay very close attention to him, how are you going to write about the first game of an offensive lineman? Like, I guess you'll know if he gives up a sack. Other than that, like, you kind of got to pay close attention to it. So yeah, that has been a thing. We will go down that road eventually if we feel like we have to.
All right. Good word, Faribault. Broderick Jones. All right. Good stuff. There's actually a ton of stuff from YouTube still in the bag here. We appreciate all the questions we've gotten recently, and we will definitely get to them as the week progresses here. Already going to be Wednesday. Tomorrow we got to flip the script and start talking a little bit about this Indianapolis Colts game. But Alan, until tomorrow, tell people to find you.
A Saunders _PGH on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. PGH Steelers Now sites account, SteelersNow.com. Go there, read the word so I can get paid. Sign up for SN Plus. You missed our October SN Plus live stream, which happened yesterday, but it is still there for you. If you want to go sign up and watch it, you can. And then if you want to participate in November's, we'll get the date for you there as soon as me, Smitty, and DB get our butts together. And we'll figure it out. We're not maybe the best at scheduling those far in advance, but and then you also get all the best stuff from me, DB, the rest of the SN Plus team. And subscribe, hit the bell for notifications here on the YouTube channel. That keeps this show and all the rest of our shows growing to a bigger and bigger audience, which really helps us out. And you guys have been killing it, marching towards 17,000. I'm excited to see where we're at today.
We are at 16,900, and the just worked out today with the New York Giants, Deontay Johnson.
No way. I didn't see that. Deontay Johnson. There you go. 18. That's a bad number.
Yep.
18. Harry Newsome was the Steelers punter in 1989.
Okay. Yep.
Held kicks for Gary Anderson as well. Harry Newsome. I don't have a lot of other 18
now, obviously.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of other 18.
This is going to be an awesome answer down the road.
Mike Williams.
Yep. I'll say too recent right now, but this is going to be an awesome answer down the road.
Mike Williams will be. Was there somebody before Deontay? Like after the receivers got the teens, but before Deontay? I can't think of one.
So there was the only player to wear it. And again, this is one of those ones. It's like it shows only the 1 year. So who knows if he actually wore this number? Walter Young, 2006.
Man, I have no recollection.
Oh, wait. David Gilreath, 2012.
I have no recollection.
Nobody wore it after Mike Tomzak, apparently. Was he that number?
Oh, Mike Tomzak. That should have been should have hit that one.
Mike Tomzak from 93 to 99. Nobody wore it until that 2006, if that player actually wore it, until 2012, which again, that's another one of those 1 year. So yeah, I mean, Deontay wearing it in 2019 picked up a number that had not been used very often and does not have a good history.
How about like back in the 70s? Anybody wear it back then?
Let's see, 50s.
I can't think of a guy in the 70s that would have worn it.
80 to 83, Cliff Stout.
That's not the number I think of when I think of Cliff Stout. He must have worn another one.
Here's Harry Newsome, 85 to 89. Yeah, nobody in the 70s.
Okay.
Pat Brady in 53.
Wow, not a good number.
No.
Good number for us.
Deontay Johnson, the best number 18 in Steelers history.
By far. Oh, Mike Tomlin was a very good backup quarterback and a somewhat capable starter.
Yeah, so he's number 2, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so yeah, and then listen to us, obviously. If you're listening to us, leave us a 5-star review and subscribe over there, Apple, Spotify, wherever your podcast from. We are there. Just search Steelers Afternoon Drive. Do the same thing on TikTok. Then you'll find me everywhere, Zachary Smith, PGH, for Alan Saunders and myself. Thanks for jumping in. Take another ride on the Steelers Afternoon Drive.